See, we can all cooperate. I was just saying that Genny and I have been collaborating for a long time, and I feel very blessed. When I began to make this drawing, because I just had no other way to channel my deep sorrow and frustration with this international crime that the world has not yet been able to stop. And as a Mexican Jew, I have felt even more desperate. I think, well, maybe not more desperate, but I just so much pain at the acts of the Jewish state, and so proud of the activities of Jews around the world who have stood up against this with Jewish Voice for Peace and other organizations. Of course, we want to talk about them too, Middle East Children's Alliance and so many others. But it's so painful to see this cycle of violence in humanity. And I made this piece that was inspired by a print by German printmaker Kasi Kollwitz called The Mothers. She was a great printmaker and lived through 2 world wars and lost her son and her grandson in those wars, and made probably the most famous anti-war poster when posters were starting to come into power. That's a figure, human figure, going, "Never again war" in German. I haven't seen that. But anyway, she's a great heroine to me. And I based my drawing on her composition. It's not the same drawing, but in both compositions there's women huddling together, caring for each other, and a child picking through their garments. I finished the scratchboard and I was in Mexico, and I sent it to Genny to have a look. I said I'd like us to be able to do a broadside and be able to plaster this up on the streets and get the word out wherever we can. And she graciously responded immediately with a beautiful and eloquent, moving poem about the tragedy. And we have pasted it up on the streets thanks to the organizing abilities of David Solnit and our crew. We have lots of volunteers who have pasted this up on the street. Unfortunately, it gets ripped down a lot, but we keep pasting it up. And the San Francisco Posters Syndicate is doing a section of the mural, this section with the women in the center as a poster today. And all these posters are for free, they're for the public. So hope you can get some art today. I would like to now bring on my dear sister Genny Lim, who is Poet Laureate of San Francisco, well-deserved long-time friend.
Wait, they're happy to be here.
This is not for the faint of heart. Over 70. Challenge my balance today.
But yeah, I just wanted to recognize her incredible contribution to the city of San Francisco, to Asian American studies, to ethnic studies, and to all forms of that kind of revolution in the world.
Juana and I have had, like she said, 4 decades of comradeship, and we have always stayed true to art as resistance, art as social change, art as transformation, and art as revolution. At no other time in our recent history, I think, has the role of art become so urgent. This is not the time to be safe, because in being safe, we are censoring ourselves, and we are censoring our brothers and sisters who are dying at the rate of 60,000 plus now, and the genocide is never going to stop unless we, the people, make it stop. Yes. Our senators have failed us on both sides of the aisle. Adam Schiff and Alex Padilla voted against stopping the bombs from going forward to Israel. And Katie Porter, she is a big disappointment. And she's running for governor. And she's pro-Israel. And anyone at this point, whether it's in whatever party you are, this is not about politics. This is about women and children dying before our eyes. People will look back at this moment in history and wonder, where the hell were the people? Had they all drunk the Kool-Aid? Were they all insane? I won't be a part of silencing myself, and I hope you will not either. It is not a time to be fearful. It is a time to be brave-hearted, to be courageous, and stand our ground for truth and freedom and the liberation of our brothers and sisters in Palestine. My father was deported, grandfather was deported, and left my father in San Francisco at the age of 10 years old to fend for himself. And distant uncles helped him around. But he never talked about that. And we're witnessing the mass deportations of innocent families, brothers and sisters, mothers who have been here over 25 years in these sweeps. This is a horrible time for humanity. And if we don't stand up against the genocide, against the deportations, all of these are linked together. And let's not say, oh, well, I can only handle so much. I can only speak for, the Chinese immigrants. I can only speak for the Palestinians. We are all in this together, and we either sink or swim. Yeah. And not in our name. And I thank my sister Juana for initiating this collaboration. And this is a true legend before our eyes.
Yay, Genny.
Not in our name. Everywhere in Gaza, people are gasping and dying of hunger. There's nothing, not even a piece of bread in this desert of ruins. Everywhere in Gaza, in the West Bank, mothers and children are dying of thirst. There's not even a damn drop of rain to eke from the dark clouds of oppression. The length of a day to a dying child is eternal. It's 1,000 years. Childhood is buried in a nameless white shroud. What lives in Palestine lives not at the mercy of men, but in the courage of resistance. For what is the sound of the heart breaking? What is the sound of a mother's cry? What is the sound of devastation? It's the wind howling through the olive trees. It is a weeping mother mourning the lost child, lost in the shadow of bombs. Why? Why? History closes its eyes and doesn't answer. The thief has banned truth and kept the world hostage. But keep going. Keep going. Because what lives in memory lives in the unvanquished hope of return. And what lives in the heart lives not in the form of memory, but in eternity. We will exist. We will resist. And what lives in infamy will not live in our name. Let's all say, not in our name. Not in our name. Not in our name. Thank you all for coming here. We have some outstanding supporters. John Santos has offered his music in our video for Not in Our Name. And if you go to the QR code, you can hear the music and the video of how we put the installation together and the crew. And you can hear all the various language that Not in Our Name has been translated into various dialects of African language, Mayan, Spanish, German,
Arabic.
Vietnamese, Chinese, Arabic.
From a woman in Gaza.
Yes, absolutely. We don't even have, we're not even in touch with her at this point, sadly. Carol, okay, thank you.
Francis Wong.
Francis Wong, always holding it down for the movement.
Left here with his horn.
And Juana is going to be reading the Spanish translation.
First things first. Right.
No en nuestro nombre. En toda Gaza la gente jatea, se muere de hambre, porque no hay nada, ni siquiera un trocito de pan en el desierto de las ruinas. En toda Palestina, madres y niños mueren de sed, porque no hay nada, ni siquiera una gota de lluvia para sobrevivir el oscuro nubarrón de la opresión. La duración de un día para un niño moribundo son 1000 años, porque la infancia está enterrada en una mortaja blanca sin nombre. Lo que vive en Palestina vive no a la merced de los hombres, sino en la valentía de la resistencia. ¿Por qué? ¿Qué sonido hace el corazón que se rompe? El sonido del llanto de una madre. ¿Qué sonido hace la devastación? El sonido del viento que aúlla entre los olivos, de las madres que lloran por la infancia, perdidas en la sombra de las bombas. ¿Por qué? La historia cierra los ojos y no responde. El ladrón ha prohibido la verdad y han tomado al mundo como rehén. Sigan adelante. Lo que vive en la memoria vive en la esperanza invicta del retorno. Lo que vive en el corazón vive no en la forma ni en la memoria, sino en la eternidad. Existiremos, y lo que vive en la infamia no vive en nuestro nombre. No en nuestro nombre. No en nuestro nombre. No en nuestro nombre. Gracias.